Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols, reaming my body.
Sarada and Mitsuki may get a power-up very soon. In the last chapter of the Boruto manga, they essentially hinted towards the fact that they need to strengthen their resolve to actually become strong enough to take on Otsutsuki members. They both have different kind of meanings behind it, or different kind of motivations behind it. Sarada, of course, wants to become the Hokage, and Mitsuki, of course, wants to protect Boruto. Well, both want to protect Boruto, but more so Mitsuki. And Boruto's last mission kind of made them realize that they're not necessarily as strong as they should be to actually want to protect Boruto and also go on to become Hokage. Now, them actually saying it out loud essentially makes me think that it's going to probably happen. One of the things that we do know about, animes like this or mangas like this, when it comes to the actual main character, when they say something in regards to powering up, it usually happens. For example, the last time that they said that they want to get strong was versus Deepa, and that's what they did in that same exact arc. When we thought it was probably going to be impossible, they actually beat Deepa. Now, what's so unique about this statement is the fact that they actually did mention the Otsutsuki clan. Now, I did kind of want to detail how they would actually get stronger, and I personally do believe it's probably going to be two separate things. The first thing is going to be upscaled power-ups, and the second thing is going to be scientific technology, which is going to be like the most boring thing. But in Dragon Ball Z, there's this power-up called Super Saiyan. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what this thing right here looks like, but they had to upscale this power-up to essentially have the other characters match the main characters and actually provide a challenge for the main characters and even put them on that same level. What they did to two characters called Kale and Caulifla, they essentially made it to where when they actually did turn Super Saiyan, they were essentially extremely strong. This right here could possibly be the same exact thing with Sarada and Mitsuki. For example, if Sarada unlocks her Mangekyo Sharingan, she'd potentially surpass a character like Itachi, surpass a character like Obito, possibly even surpass a character like Madara, just to force her up into the upper echelon so she can actually compete with higher tier characters. And not only that, when she does unlock, let's say, the Rinnegan or something like that, that right there would probably boost her up to, like, let's say, actual high Otsutsuki tier, like a Momoshiki Otsutsuki or something like that. Even though those power-ups aren't necessarily supposed to make her that strong, that right there may actually be a way to just give Sarada the actual power-up that she wants and that the plot actually desires her to have, to be comparable and compatible with a character like Boruto, Kawaki, Naruto, and Sasuke, of course, if she wants to become the Hokage. There are upsides and downsides to this. The upside is that you're going to get household names, essentially be the actual power-ups that make characters really strong. For example, if Sarada gets Susanoo and that becomes the strongest defense in Boruto now, which is not the case right now, a lot of people would be able to identify with Sarada Susanoo and not some unknown ability that we have never really heard of. But there are a couple of downsides to this plan. First things first, it would throw the power scaling completely out of whack. For example, if Sarada's Mangekyo Sharingan puts her above the level of, like, let's say, a Madara just to compete with Otsutsuki tiers, it'd make no sense, mainly because a character like Madara also had a Mangekyo Sharingan, a character like Obito, a character like Itachi, a character like 17-year-old Sasuke, they also had Mangekyo Sharingans, but somehow this half-breed is like stronger than all the other pure Uchiha members. And of course, that right there in itself would be a little bit frustrating, but it would have to be like a necessary thing to, of course, scale Sarada up. Not only that, it would kind of foderize the Shippuden characters, and it would also lessen the impact of the Naruto Shippuden characters. And again, I have to compare Dragon Ball Super to this, but the first time that a character like Goku turned Super Saiyan, it was like an experience. It was like a big thing. One of the most legendary episodes in Dragon Ball history, a legendary franchise in itself. But when the new generation characters, Kale and Caulifla, when they turned Super Saiyan, it was like a regular thing. No one really cared. And of course, that power up in itself just made all the other powers that Goku had to go through to reach that level completely obsolete. So when Goku turned Super Saiyan 2, it didn't matter, mainly because Kale Super Saiyan 1 was stronger. When Goku turned Super Saiyan 3, that didn't matter, mainly because Kale Super Saiyan 2 was still stronger than that. When he turned Super Saiyan God, it didn't necessarily matter because Kale Super Saiyan 2 was still competing with that. So things like that will kind of anger a lot of the hardcore Naruto fans out there. This right here may actually drive a lot of people to actually drop the series. Now, of course, the other thing is going to be the scientific technology upgrade. We've been talking about scientific technology for a very long time. I think this right here is going to be very prevalent in Mitsuki's case. When it comes to scientific technology, you could just simply add abilities to characters. For example, abilities such as chakra absorption, new hacks like Ida and Damon, where Ida has clairvoyant abilities and Damon can reflect everything. You could upgrade speed, strength, and durability, just like how in Delta's case, she went from presuming like a regular ninja to now matching 6-pass Sage Mode Naruto when he actually did have Kurama. And also you could potentially gain a dojutsu. We've seen Delta have a dojutsu, Ida have a dojutsu. We've seen some synthetic human beings from the Mitsuki retrieval arc have synthetic dojutsus, and even Shin Uchiha have synthetic dojutsus. These things right here could also possibly be helpful to both Sarada and Mitsuki. The downside to this would be the barrier of entry would be extremely too easy. Everybody could be altered with scientific technology and everybody becomes extremely strong. It wouldn't necessarily make any one character special. You can't necessarily have every single experiment be a success. So for example, it could possibly be a situation where different people's body types are more susceptible to actually accepting the scientific technology, and some people's bodies are just going to flat out reject the scientific technology. If that's the case, then only a few minority of the actual elites who actually did maintain and actually build their bodies correctly can actually obtain the scientific technology. It would just flat out make it a better power up. So hypothetically, if characters like Sarada and Mitsuki are able to modify their bodies by scientific technologies, other characters like Shikadai, Chocho, Inojin, Medali, Hauki, and etc. just aren't necessarily able to get their bodies altered by scientific technology, because if they are, most people would probably do so, and of course it would kind of water down the power-ups of characters such as Sarada and Mitsuki. Now, I think there could be a very good intermediary where they could do both. One of the things that we have seen from Naruto in the past is that they essentially use the Hashirama style as a crutch to essentially upgrade a lot of the things that regular characters already have. So hypothetically, a character like Obito, he was able to spam Kamui a bunch mainly because he had the advent of Hashirama cells. There could possibly be a certain situation in Boruto where a character like Sarada may also unlock her Mangekyo Sharingan, but because her body is scientifically altered by scientific technology, then she can actually scale up a lot of her abilities to Otsutsuki tier. So hypothetically, if she has like the Susanoo or something like that, she could potentially add some hacks inside the Susanoo to actually make her Susanoo a lot more durable, and potentially even, I don't know, add Damon's ability where she could just reflect everything that actually touches the Susanoo. I personally do think that this right here is probably going to be the best intermediary, and especially for a character like Mitsuki, who already has a lot of hacks, who already has a lot of abilities, especially with the Sage mode, and is already a synthetic human being. I personally do believe that the only thing that Mitsuki needs as of right now is, well, potentially give him a dojutsu or something like that, potentially give him a couple more power-ups, but Mitsuki's body right now just can't necessarily handle the power of his Sage mode. Hypothetically, if he uses scientific technology to actually upgrade his body, and then of course be a little bit more durable to actually handle the Sage mode, that right there in itself will make Mitsuki a lot stronger. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Do you guys think that Sarada and Mitsuki are going to eventually get to Otsutsuki tier, and how do you guys think that they will probably get there? But it's me, your boy Barbie, and we out.
It's a knife.